Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous. Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Damn.
Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space.
Oh, yes, we're back again with another banger. Make sure when you come in, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you also hit the notification bell as you will be notified once I drop new content. So it's been a few days, and I'm not sure if you've seen the post, or not the post, I'm sorry, the podcast with Dr. Umar Johnson, and the gentleman's name, I'm not sure what the name is. I will try to find it and tag it, but kudos to him. And you've heard my previous takes on Dr. Umar Johnson and some of the hypocritical points that he makes for, marrying black women, et cetera, et cetera. But in this case, this context, in this specific topic, he is 100% accurate in his analysis, as I have a background in psychology and have been studying that since I've graduated. I've never stopped reading. I've never stopped looking into studies. The psychologists that we revere and that we use in the curriculum, Sigmund Freud, Charles Maslow, Erik Erikson, and the list goes on. But what he stated in this clip was that most, if not all, emotionally damaged people, not men or women, but he stated people, are sexually promiscuous. More so women, because it's going to resonate with women more because women have way more power over power over sexual access than men do. Women control who has sex. Men control who gets married. In a lot of cases, some women may even control that market, depending on the caliber. You have a particular populace of men who are invisible to women because they did not get the guidance. They have not looked within and said, hey, I'm going to build myself. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to evolve. They rather just not put in the work, and they will just play video games, consume corn and other, platforms, your OnlyFans, all of that. They rather go that route. But what he stated was very accurate because I can identify myself in being emotionally damaged at one point in my life. Because what will happen is, because I've had such a crazy history with women at an early age, I've attracted young girls when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. When girls took a liking to me when I got into elementary school. I was a new kid in the school. I had the prettiest girl the first day. On up to middle school, high school, college. So what will tend to happen is that you start to have a history with women at an early age. It's going to give you a skewed perspective because a lot of men won't get to deal with women until they get mature and, get an identity, which a lot of the cases they get that later in life. When they get into sports, they get some type of status, they get some type of wealth because that makes a man attractive. But the examples that he used was that you had a woman who was just crazy crazy in love with you, right? Stalking you, calling your phone 100 times a day, calling you at all types of night because they're insecure, trying to make sure you're not with another woman. That relationship goes in the toilet, and within a week, sometimes even a day, a month, a few months, a year, they're in that same mindset with another man, as if you never existed. So one would ask, and I always had this question, how can a woman be so in love with me? Tell me this, send me these 3-page paragraph messages, sending me these notes, sending me these gifts, etc. And the relationship can just be over within a snap. And they be back on the dating market within a week. They be back in love within a month or 2 months. How could this love really be real? So use that to say, when you look at the baggage that women carry, sex becomes addictive. And what women equate is the level of sex that you give them, which is going to be influenced or heightened by the foreplay, the conversations, the mental stimulation, the aesthetics, the date nights, the way you make her look in front of her peers, the way you make her feel, the way you hug her. All of these things influence the sexual experience. So this is what she gets addicted to. She's addicted to that attention, making her feel pretty. You have to make your woman feel beautiful, because women deal with competition every day. The top two things women are the most competitive at are going to be relationships, dating the men they're pursuing, and their careers. They're not going to be competitive with making themselves the best version of themselves. They're not going to be competitive with what they don't do. You look at the costume. The women have on the same thing. They're wearing the same makeup, the same look, the same talking points, the same personality traits. They think toxic is cute. They think it gives them a sense of feistiness because they've now correlated and seen how men speak to say, well, the crazy ones have the best sex, not knowing they're just good for that. You get on social media, the top two things you're going to see women speak about is going to be sex and their career. That's it. Sex and money. Sex and money. More so sex, because they feel that's all they have to offer. And when they speak about money, it's not about what they can do with their money to help you, help your community. They speak about the men having money. They speak about the men's resources. They don't speak about what they're going to invest in unless it's beauty. They're not going to speak about the education and how our children are failing at alarming rates. That's not a concern to them. They just want to be the baddest bitch in the room. But as a man, again, this damage that you will carry will come from you being, going in and out of relationships. You start this cycle where you get a girl, she looks good, and say, okay, this didn't work. Let me get a one that looks just as good or better, depending on how the relationship ended. A lot of the times when a relationship ends, it lives in your subconscious because you failed, and she's going to go out her way to make sure you or your friends know she has a new boo. Because women have a vindictive spirit. For whatever reason, they want to get back at you, whether it be a month later, a year later, years down the line. They're going to check your page. They're going to try to get the scoop to see how is his life going. They want to make sure that their life is moved and progressed on better than yours. They want to make sure that their new boo on a scale looks better than your new boo. Relationships are mere accessories now. They want to use relationships and dating and romances to increase their social status. This is why the men has to be 9 feet tall and make $1 million a month. You see the interviews, you see the platforms in which these men ask these women, how much does a man have to spend on the first date? And they jump out of the window, 300 to 1,000. Because I have to be able to put this on my Instagram. If I can't put it on my Instagram, it's no use in dating you. Women want a dual benefit from being with you. Not only do they want the security or the allure that comes with being with a man of money and resources, they want it to make them look better to their friends, because they're always, this is why you see women say, I don't have female friends. You hear women say this all the time because they're constantly in competition with their so-called friends. So what the damage and the baggage starts to become is because as each relationship fails, that bag gets a little bit more full for the woman. She's going to take that baggage to man to man to man. And then the sex is going to be the most important part to her, because she's been with so many men, she no longer has the ability to bond with him. So now she's chasing the dopamine. She wants the rush. This is why she likes the sneaky link. She likes to cheat. This is why married men are getting more play. Men in relationships are more desired. Women don't want a man who other women don't want, because the competitiveness in her wants her to think, or it gives her that ego stroke that she can take another woman's man. She see this all the time. These women are the main cheaters. This is why they have the main baggage. They have the most. Nowadays, it's a different game. The society has evolved where the woman is acting as the man, and the man is acting as the woman. That's why they don't want. If you're a cool cut guy, you don't have any women around you. You're safe. That's not fun to them because they need the dopamine rush. They want the excitement. They want to be able to go and tell her whole friends, because she is who she associates herself with. I have a better whole story than you. Yeah, my guy did this for me. What did your guy with the wife and kids do for you? So there's going to be a lot of baggage, and nothing but sex is going to be on the mind, because the sex is the addiction. You look at women are smoking and drinking way more than ever before because they are emotionally damaged. They need an escape. Men smoking and drinking more than ever before. But their damage does not come from having so many women. A lot of their damage comes from not being adequate enough to get a woman. Having one woman, and that woman was the best that he can do, so he's failed to replace. He's failed to replace her. So now what do? You start to look for outlets. You start to look for ways to cope with your feelings of inadequacy. You start to form these bad habits. And the baggage that keeps piling up. That baggage will get so heavy to where you will be left alone to unpack it. But with this take, I definitely agree with Dr. Umar 100%. Most women, most people, men, women, will have emotional baggage, and that will translate to sexual promiscuity, because that's going to be the easiest way to escape their reality, to get that dopamine rush that they're looking for. And it's going to be fueled with alcohol, weed, and anything else they want to add to the equation to heighten that experience. But I definitely may do a part 2 to this video. You guys let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's the Day Master.